Hi everyone, good evening. How are you
Yeah,
doing?
everyone. All right. Good evening, everyone. I trust you can hear me. Can you hear me? Please confirm if you can hear me in the chat box.
Yeah, we can
Confirm.
hear you.
Okay. Good. All right. So today we're still going into more questions and answers. So I hope we have our questions. All right. So you can start dropping your questions, but actually, what we plan for Amos in this session is for us to have like a Q&A and also some sort of recap. So probably we can just go through some quick recap with the students. Like I know some people have not really watched the video, but we can go through some quick recap when we're trying to answer some questions. So today we'll actually go through the slide. Because I have the slide and a lot of people know I should go through the slide yesterday. So we'll talk a little bit about the slide, try to give some recap. If you have questions, drop it. Um, or should we still speak about that role of roles in digital marketing, or should leave that to like the mentorship session?
Well, I can talk about it briefly. Like during the course of the program, but let's start with it. Um, let's dive into the Q&A first. Then, like during the course of the session,
Okay,
we'll
let's
talk about
let's dive
what.
into the Q and then we'll come back to the roles. Just so that's as we have. Let's first start with the Q&A. Let me share my screen. All right, so I covered this question yesterday. So what exactly is a funnel? So we covered it yesterday. If you can remember, what talked about funnel, the top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel. How do I move people from awareness to conversion in a funnel? We've also talked about this. So what tools can I use to build or manage a funnel? So for tools, you can use WordPress tools. I think someone was talking about card, the card was someone was talking about card. There's click funnels, it is things like that are good for funnels, right? As far as tools are concerned, I don't think anyone should have a problem. It's just most times it's just in the selection. And when it comes to selection, there are so many things that you need to consider when you want to select a tool to use for funnels, right? Because there's just so many tools out there. There's so many tools out there. I'm sure you must knows a lot, right? And I've also used a lot. And it's just switching. Most times, consider add the costs of the platform. Sometimes you consider what exactly you want to use in the tool that you're using um, for for your funnel. So what kind of content should I create for each stage of the funnel? So this is also simple, right? So for your top of the funnel, you want to create awareness content, you want to create engaging content, entertainment content. And then for your middle of the funnel, you really want to create content that are talking to specific pain points because now you want to explain the problem more, you want to agitate the problem more, you want to tell them that that problem is an issue, right? And then um, that will lead you to conversion, and then your bottom of the funnel, since they are already clients, you want to send post purchase like thank you notes. You want to ensure that you're keeping a good customer relationship. Okay, so what is the difference between Google Ads, Facebook Ads, and Instagram? I think this is a direct question, and I think we touched this yesterday also. So how does ad targeting work, and what's the best way to define your audience? So I don't know, Amos, do you want to take this one? Like, what is the best way to define your audience? Like, let's say you want to start a campaign, what is the best way to define a target audience? And when it comes to like ad targeting, what are the things that you look out for to select? I know you have talked them this, but what are the things that you look out for to select? Okay, these are the keywords that we'll use um to select who I am targeting.
Okay, so how does our targeting work? I think it's first of all it boils down to like the foundation of digital marketing in terms of um when we talk about digital marketing, we talk about the fact that okay, you have to segment your audience, you have to know who you are targeting. And once you already know those things, you already have like okay, this is your buyer persona, this is your target audience, these are the people I want to target. Then you now translate that into your hard targeting. So the best way to define your audience, I believe like you should have probably defined before like the ads part come. But like let's say it's not. You have to think about like okay, the kind of people that want to use your product, what would they like to do? What are their interests? What's their demography? What's their behavior? What are their behaviors? And then like when you're now working on the ads and you're putting it into the ads, I mean you might not have as many free reign as you would want in terms of like probably the way you define your persona, but you're going to have things related to like okay now let's say you are running a campaign that's related to like people that want to be musical artists now. You can say something like fans of, you mentioned the top artists that are there that we all know, and they're like okay, you're targeting them. Or you can be like okay, people that live in this place, people that have visited this place one time or the other. So when you now add like okay, you've defined your audience, you know the kind of people they are, then you can now look for interests and behaviors that relate to what your audience would be, and then you set it up in the ads. That's how the old ad targeting would work.
Mm, okay, yeah, pretty simple. All right. So next question is how do I know what budget to start with for paid campaigns? So this question is important because most times let's say when somebody is coming to meet me, questions they often ask is that like how many leads can 50,000 naira get me? Like they used to ask the question as if there's a like as if it's written there like so something. So can you answer this question?
Yeah, so I think for this, how do you know what um, budget to start with for paid campaigns? Uh, you just have to start with something. You just have to start with something. So it's like this. First of all, you as a health specialist, what's like how much are you comfortable? running ads with what is like probably the limit. If
Mm.
you've not run ads with anything before, you can just throw out a figure, just throw out a number, even if it scares you or it scares anybody, like just work with that. Then you should also try and work within like your limits most times, or within the company's limits. You can always throw, let's say you're working for a company or a client reaches out to you, always throw the question like, okay, what's your budget? Or before you even go back to the budget, you be like, okay, what is your expected results? Now there's something interesting about like trying to give what budget to start with, because I mean it can be very tricky and dicey. But if your client or your employer, or you have your goals already, you can now research. And probably when the slides are shared, I think there's something about like benchmarks, industry benchmarks, that I actually put down in my slides. But even if you don't even get that, you can just go to school and search like, okay, what is the industry benchmark for cost per conversion for clicks, to get this amount of clicks, and you have like, okay, the percentage there in your industry. Then you're like, okay, let's say, well, when people click, what's like the conversion ratio? So I think you probably have like 0.5% or 1%, and then you calculate it like, okay, this is what you want to get. But as you can see, like based on industry standards, you have to spend at least this, that will actually give you of estimated results that you want to do. So that way you've worked backwards from like the goal to now define, okay, this is the budget that would actually get you that goal. So I hope that answers
Mm.
your question. So yeah.
Yeah. So another way I used to look at it is that on most times when you are when you are setting up the ad, the ad algorithm, like you see it by the side, like they'll give you like an estimate of like how many, like the reach of the ad, right? And then you can ascertain from there. Also, like studying your kind of studying your um basically studying the market, right? Because like studying the ad cost for each market. For example, running ads to Nigerian audience will be definitely cheaper than running ads to US market or Canada or UK market, right? And then asking questions from colleagues like how much, when you run this class campaign, how much did it cost? What was the cost per lead and things like that. And also the kind of people you are trying to target also determines like how much you're spending on ads. Yeah, but yeah, that's the question, right? Um, Another question says like, how do you track and measure the success of an ad?
How do I track and measure the success of an ad? So I think the question answers it already. So UG, so
Yeah.
the ROAS, return on ad spend, the click through rate, and the cost per click. So the first thing is when you define your goal. So once you define your goal, you know, okay, this is what you want to achieve, this is what you want to accomplish. Then you now look at, okay, how can you actually like track these things? If your goal is engagement, what you're looking, because what you're looking at is not just in terms of like you made 5 sales. What you're looking at is in terms of like you paid this certain amount of money to make these 5 sales. I think I mentioned yesterday. So it doesn't look like you are spending 5K for people to come and buy something that is worth 1K. So what is the gain there? You might as well not even sold. So when you're thinking about like, okay, the source of your, and you're looking at, that's why you have like the return on ad spend on, like as an example, you have the click through rate, you have the cost per click, and then also looking at, okay, the cost per conversion or the cost per acquisition, like how much did you actually pay to actually get this customer, and is it a good metric? Is it something that you actually made a gain on? Because at the end of the day, you're taking on the bottom line. And I mean, if you as a business owner or a contractor or an employer gives you money to run ads and you're spending more money to actually that they're actually going to gain. And also it's also good to look at things in terms of there's something we call a customer lifetime value. And because that's why you see a
Mm.
lot of tech companies being very aggressive. So what it looks at is that they're not looking at the first cost. Okay, I'm paying this money for it to come and get something worth of 1K. No, you're looking at like, okay, in the next 1, 2, 3 years, how much will they still be getting from you? And that's why you say like, okay, they're really aggressive to spend a lot. So you're not just looking at, okay, like the cost per like the initial sale they are probably going to make, because sometimes it might even be a free product they are selling. Maybe this is how much they sign up, and they're signing up for free, so you're not even making any money, but you're getting ads from them. But you know that over time, in the course of a year, in the course of 2 years, this is how much a customer can give you on the average. They know that, okay, this is how much you are willing to spend on your ads.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So someone is asking, is this the end of the is this the end of the train? This is not the end. So we're just having like a quick recap, and we're having a quick recap and like asking questions. There's still classes for at least 1 week or two. So some questions are here. Um, Someone is asking what are cold emails and what are effective EMS, that's email marketing. I don't understand. Like, is it email marketing strategies that can be used to send cold emails? So cold email is from like there are different types of emails. There's what you call there are different types of audience. There's your warm audience, there's your cold audience, and there's the hot audience. Your cold audience are people who don't know you before. They don't know you from Adam, right? They don't know your name. They don't know anything about you. So like that, you can be able to know like what is cold email. So cold email is pretty much sending an email to somebody who has not heard about you before. Like they've not heard about you before, and practically what I'm trying to do with the cold email is to pitch them on some services, try to sell them on something, get them as a client and things like that. So effective if you're asking for email marketing strategies for cold emailing, there are so many things that goes into cold emailing, right? So for example, where are you getting those emails from? Are those emails correct? Are you doing your proper research? So one thing I used to tell somebody is that like if you want to do cold emailing, first of all, you must work with a platform that allows for that, because if you are doing a lot of cold emailing, you are going to get a lot of you're going to get spammed a lot, like not spammed, but you are going to get reported a lot and marked as spam a lot. So that will definitely affect your deliverability rate. So you must have an email marketing platform that help you to solve that. If it's like generating new emails for you like every month, so that you can use new emails and your emails can be getting delivered like that, right? So you can search for tools that does this. Like just go to YouTube and search for like tools that email marketing platform for cold email marketing. I'm sure you should see some. And then secondly, um, have you done your research to the people that are cold emailing? The the norm online is that people just get a bunch of emails and then they just broadcast the same message to all those emails. Like they just broadcast that same message to all the email addresses that they have. And for me, it does not work because if you don't make your emails personalized, um, you're going to get blocked and reported a lot of times, right? So for me, when I'm sending emails that are cold, I'm sending cold emails. I try to do my best research on who I am sending to, like know their first name, know their specific problem that they're solving, write specifically to the write specifically to like the problems that they have and give them tailored solutions. So when they are reading the email, they know that okay, I sat down and actually researched about them, and I understand their problem, and I'm providing a solution for them. Right, so it's better than like just sending emails just like that, like just copying templates and sending emails. Another effective email marketing strategy for cold emails are that, like the follow up. So a lot of people, what they do is that they send one set of cold email, like you have done your research and everything. So you send that cold email and then you don't get any reply, and then you call it a day. So for me, when I do emailing for people, when I do emailing by myself, like the least time, like I send them 7 emails before I give up. So when I send the first email and they do not respond, I'll send a follow up email. After the pace have to be right, of course. Right. So after some weeks and I don't get any reply, I'll send another email as a reminder email. After some weeks or days again, I send another email. Right. So I send like 7 emails. The least I ever send is 3 emails before I give up. right? But most times I ensure that I do proper follow up, right, before, so that they can respond, right? Because a lot of people might not see your email, or they might just see your email the first time and ignore. But when they see that you are sending emails again and again, they will they would respond, right? So that's another, like, another strategy that you can use, right? And most times the strategy in the cold email comes when you're actually writing the email. Like, how do you write your email? Are you adding your social proofs? Are you ensuring that your hooks are strong? Like, what are the results that are promising, or what are the results or the outcomes that you're putting in those emails? Like, um what is the call to action? Is the call to action clear? Are you articulating the problem that they are facing very well? Things that's These are the things that you should check. And so if you have watched the copywriting class that we took in the space of this training, you will see where I actually break down how to write the body of an email. So yeah, those are the strategies that I have. Right. Amos, you want to add any other thing to that?
No, no, no. I think you've covered everything. First of all, the code from the code emails. I mean, you have to personalize it. That's just it. If you're sending a cold email, if you are sending a bulk mail and sending multiple people, that's like okay, because someone is asking about that now. How do you personalize a bulk mail? That is when you're sending to multiple people, but still want to address each prospect by name. Okay, so that depends on the tool that you're using. So, MailChimp, some of the email marketing tools will allow you to actually put in the names of the recipients or the recipients of the email. So, like when each person gets the email, their name is coming up, but the rest of the mail is still the same, going to like all other recipients. Um, I have a few questions I want to ask the class. I mean, let's
Okay.
just like get see something. I would like to see some responses. I think first one I would like to ask is something since we've been speaking about ads like recently. Some of the questions. So, what's the difference between paid search and paid social? So, what's the difference between paid search and paid social? So, if you have like an idea or you remember, can you just drop it? And if you're like, I don't teach you, you can just write it on. I don't teach you, so that I will know. But yeah, let's know like difference between paid search and paid social. You can even tell me, like, okay, what platform would you say paid search is? Okay, thank you very much, Talkers. Paid search is for Google Ads, while paid search is for Meta Ads. Yes, thank you very much. What else? There are other things that we spoke about. So paid search is Google Ads, while paid search is so there's something else that there's something I'm looking for. I mean, paid search is SCM, yes. Paid social is for social media, which is very good. Thank you very much, all of you. So we spoke about something about like the difference between like the way the ads work in Google search ads and paid and in Meta ads or other paid social platforms. There's one key difference in how we approach the ads. I'm going to give like two or three more people to answer before I like mention it. Yes, thank you very much, too, for me. That's so paid search is intent based, while paid social is you're targeting interest. Paid search you're targeting your intent. Moses Diary, no, Google search ads is not the same as CPC. CPC is cost per click, which is a metric that we track in Google in all ads that do not really Google ads. Yes,
Mm.
thank you very much. When the paid search ads appear on search engine result pages, when is this? Yeah, yes, that's beautiful. All right, that's that one for you. Um, one more question before we go on to like we go back to answering questions. With these facilitators cannot be answering all the questions. Happy to be.
Yes.
So let me see. Since we are still on the topic of arts, let me just pick one um that would be an art. So So how would you decide between running ads on Google versus TikTok? So if you wanted to run ads on TikTok or you wanted to run ads on Google, which of them would you pick and why? So tell me why. Like, okay, TikTok and Google, if you have to choose between one of those platforms to run ads on for your brand, or let's pick any form of brand. Let's pick a fitness brand. A fitness brand for a fitness brand. Which one would you pick and why? TikTok for target audience age between 15 to 35. Okay. So someone said I'll start with paid search, TikTok for visuals. Okay. Yeah. I think I like the idea that we're thinking in terms of like videos. I will pick Facebook because that's where my target audience. Okay. That's interesting. How do you know that your audience are there and Olamide in TikTok? Won't they be also be searching for gyms near them? But yes, there's no right or wrong answer. You'll find the answer when you start running these ads and you start targeting these people. So yes, Google Ads for search benefits and TikTok for visual display. But even in Google Ads, I think we spoke about the fact that there are no we don't only have search ads, we also have display ads also. We also have YouTube ads, that Google ads, don't we? And when we pay search to get the people actively interested in the fitness. Okay. So let's go back to funnel. Last one because Toby mentioned funnel, the top of the funnel, the middle of the funnel. If I just like list the funnel stages, I'd like to also list funnel stages and apply it to like this fitness brand now. How would you say that? Okay, we're going to actually target these people using these different from different stages of funnel. So first of all, we want to get them from the top to the middle. What are we going to do for them when they're at the top of the funnel? What are we going to do to them when they're at the middle of the funnel? And what are we going to do to them when they're at the bottom of the funnel? So but I don't know, how did you explain like the funnel? Did you tell them about like someone said tofu, bofu? That is two tops, no middle. Yeah, Moses. So if you have a website, Google. If you have a website, TikTok. Okay. TikTok because it's very fast to meet with your target audience. All right. I like to see some answers on the funnel question. So I'll probably add them to an email list at the middle of the funnel. Okay, that's actually brilliant, Dockers. But from the top of the funnel, how will you get them to join your email list on the top of the funnel? Okay, Moses has corrected himself. Top, middle, and bottom. Continually creating of content for which funnel, for which part of the funnel, Chukudi. So like if I even talking about like top of the funnel, I mean what is your goal at the top of the funnel? What is your goal at the middle of the funnel? What is your goal at the end of the funnel? Interesting, ebook on fitness. I think that's an interesting choice of getting people to actually subscribe for your newsletter. By offering a free trial. Okay. So what are we trying to achieve at the top of the funnel? What are you trying to achieve on the So yes, top, middle, and bottom. Yes, thank you very much, Samson Roberts. I think you just defined the framework. So am I right? I think she sent a copy, one of the copies framework, copywriting framework. But yes,
Yeah,
awareness at the top of the, that's love it. So awareness, interest, decision, and action is a copywriting framework. It's not different from the funnel approach that we spoke about. That we spoke about. So awareness is the top of the funnel. You are trying to get them to know about your brand.
mm,
Um, Concentration is the middle of the funnel where you are trying to get them to like how will you put it? Yeah, like they're concentrating about your brand, they're concentrating about your business. You're trying to get them from like okay to know more about it and get them to the final part of the funnel, which is like okay, you're just getting them to like okay, make that final sale.
yeah. I think Emmanuel said something. She said top of the funnel, paid ads, making sure we are
Mm,
putting out content. Middle of the funnel, lead magnets, freebies, incentives. Um,
yeah, bottom of the
bottom of the
funnel,
funnel. Yeah, that's
personalized
it.
emails. That's actually beautiful. Incentives would be a more bottom of the funnel approach because you are now giving them an incentive to make a
Yeah,
purchase. Yes,
exactly.
so yes, but I like the way you actually thought about it. Yes, focusing. For last said is focusing on their dreams, desires, and pinpoint interest. You want to let them achieve their dreams. But yeah, that's how you actually focus on them. You offer them educational content, which educational content can also serve as a form of middle of the funnel approach also. All right, then let's get on with the questions to be for like, the next one.
Okay, all right. So let's continue. Yeah. So what is the difference between boosting a post and running a full campaign? Yes. So this question is important because a lot of people will come and meet you as a digital marketer, and they'll be like, "Come help me to run ads," and then how much is your budget? And like, yeah, I'm not the one to even pay the digital marketer that's running the ads, like 5K. I'm like, and then you have to explain what goes into actually running this ad campaign, the research that goes into it and everything. So that because most people just feel that it is to boost posts. So can you I know that you have explained, but can you give clarifications to that?
Okay, so I think it's two things. Yeah, so you're trying to actually boost posts. You're trying to actually run the ads from the ads manager. The I think one thing to notice that like we're going to talk about like it in terms of like what they are best for, but you can actually achieve use them to achieve any of your goals that you want to achieve. The major difference between like boosting a post on Instagram and running an ads on like the ads manager that we spoke about is in terms of like the flexibility and options. The way you can actually choose your interest, choose your targeting, um, choose know like okay, these are the kind of people that you want to sell to. These are the kind of creatives that you want to put out. That if somebody is Ghanaian, they should be seeing this design someone is like you can do a lot of things with Meta Ads Manager here, and you don't have that range of flexibility when you're trying to boost a post on Instagram. So what common practice now does is that like okay, if you want to post a post on Instagram, there's an option that you get there you probably won't even get in Ads Manager most of the times. There are even two. First of all, like you can tell Instagram to actually target people that are like your current followers, and you can get people to visit your profile, your Instagram profile when you're boosting a post. Doesn't necessarily mean you cannot say that they should visit a site or lead them to a landing page or conversions. But the major fact that you can get them to actually visit your profile or send you a message means that it can be very, very, very effective for awareness campaigns because it means
Mm,
that people are coming to know more about you. And that is why okay when you're running talking about boosting a post and people always be like okay yes you use that to actually drive awareness campaigns because of like the options that you have and because you don't have a lot of flexibility in like what you can do with the ads you cannot really use it for conversions. You would want to use the one that you have more flexibility on. Regardless, nonetheless, you can actually still use boosting your Instagram post for conversions. I mean, especially if you have like a low budget, if you want to just test the waters first, you can go. If like your budget is really low, you can go use Instagram post. You can tell them like, okay, they should send you a message. So when people see your ad and they click, they are sending you a message, and you continue the conversation from them to get them to buy. Or you can even still put it to your landing page. The other thing is that when the ads are no longer working, the options you have are become limited in terms of what you can do and what you can change. So that's just like the difference between boosting a post and running a full campaign. And when you're running a full campaign, you have your goals targeted. You can actually like the range of options you have when you're running a full campaign. You understand why it's a full campaign and not just
Yeah.
boosting a post. Yes. So all the things we spoken about, like in the paid ads class, you have access to them when you're trying to run it from Meta Ads Manager as a major campaign, and the goals that you want to achieve, the metrics you want to track. You can even tell it that if you want to even set up retargeting ads. I think we mentioned retargeting ads sometime. Or a lot of this, even this funnel that we are speaking about. Let's use this funnel. You can use Ads Manager and set up like a whole funnel campaign whereby you're running ads to get people to know about you first. They are running ads like people that know. I think people mentioned something about like you're targeting people that have engaged with your post in the past. And you're running ads to
Yeah.
targeting people that have engaged with your video that you probably used for awareness. And this is like what I'm talking about explain is ads I'm currently running for at where I work. Like we're actually building this funnel stages by stages. And then the next is like, okay, you're getting them to consider. Okay, the final thing was like the incentive. You're running another ad again to now give them an incentive that okay, they should use this coupon code and they're going to get this, or that. So that's how you can actually approach like running an ad with a full campaign. Posting a post still delivers you results. You just don't have a lot of free roll and flexibility to it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah. So if you depending on what you are doing, that's when you know that you need to use it at boost. So boosting, I think boosting is just for people who have no, like, people who don't have like full knowledge of how ads work in like the ad Facebook ad campaign, and they just want something easy, right? So it's very very easy for, like, say somebody that is just a regular selling something online, don't have knowledge about ads manager, to go to just press boost, make payment, and then just start running ads, and with few buttons, few clicks, few options, you can just start running ads. So it's okay when you're doing like your awareness ad, you want people to see you, that visit my Instagram profile thing, you want people to see you. But when it even comes to like running complex awareness ad, for me, because for example, I run awareness ad, my kind of awareness ad, I have like I have like 6 posts in one ad set. Like I used to put like 6 posts in one ad set, or I want to create different ad sets in that same ad campaign to just test which content. So I will create, like I can just create just one round figure for different posts, right? So I can run the ads, then test which content is actually doing better than which, and then I'll off the remaining or delete the remaining, and just leave the ones that are performing well, or add new content, more new content to it, and things like that. But because how I'm able to do that is because I understand how meta ad work, how ads work, right? So if you're a digital marketer and you've gone through this ads class, you should be able to figure out your way when it comes to running ads with Facebook ads manager, right? So because that's actually that's the best way to run ads, right? Because you have a lot of options. You can tweak a lot of things. You can do this retargeting thing. You can do more with Facebook ads manager, definitely. So yeah. Um how do I choose the right platform for my brand or business, right? So I think I explained this in our class, that when you are choosing a platform for a business, number one, if you are a one-man business, let's say you don't have a team, or you don't have like a dedicated social media that are paying, at least they are paying big money every month to run social media for you, you should only work with one or two. So one is perfect. At most, two social media platforms to start with. right? Then to choose that social media platform that you want to build your brand on. Number one is your target audience. So who is your target audience, right? So learn everything that you can about your target audience, including the platforms that they like to use. So it's the platform that they like to use now that you can now select. So let's say you've done your research and you discover that the target audience, they like to use LinkedIn and they like to use Instagram. Those are the two platforms that they like to use. Or let's say they like to use Instagram and TikTok. Then you want to pick only one. So you can now choose like what kind of content do I love creating, or which content do I like most. So it's more like you need to look outward and then you need to look inward at yourself. So who are my target audience? Where are they at? And then for me, what kind of content do I like creating? So for example, myself, for example, I choose Instagram. Like Instagram is where I am. Like Instagram is where I post my content and do everything that I want to do as a personal brand. How I got to choose Instagram is because I have I know where my target audience are. I know that my target audience are on Instagram. But if you were to ask me, are my target audience only on Instagram? I will say no. So my target audience too are on TikTok. They are also on LinkedIn. They are even mostly on LinkedIn. Right? But they are also on Instagram. And then for me, my kind of person, my personality, I like to create video content and I like designs, right? And which platform supports those two things most is Instagram, right? Instagram supports designs, being creative, videos, and all of those things, right? So I can't use TikTok because I don't like TikTok as a platform that much, and I don't use LinkedIn because I don't really like LinkedIn as a platform that much, right? So my LinkedIn is basically optimized for jobs and so on and so forth. So that's how I choose my own platform. So you need to look for inward and you also need to look outward. So I think that's the best way to choose your platform. But just choose one platform and focus on that platform. Another question here is what kind of content works best on each social media platform, right? So for content, for TikTok, videos work best on TikTok, and I'm starting to see that like long videos work better on TikTok. For Instagram, what works best on Instagram is Reels, and Reels are 60 to 90 seconds. But TikTok allows you to post longer videos, right? And they still perform good. So far people are watching it, they will still perform good. But on Instagram, any video exceeding 90 seconds, you might not see much results from it. Right? So on Instagram, Reels are the best performing, right? Also carousels are also performing well on Instagram. And then for LinkedIn, till now they are trying to release video features, but till now I still think single posts perform better. So single post, like you just posting your picture, like a lifestyle picture of yourself and doing write up. So right, LinkedIn supports more of write up. Right, I don't know if Amos has any other like a different opinion from that, like on like the content that performs better on each social media platforms.
No, I think normally in terms of content, like video content is in today's world. Video content is king all the way. Especially in the way even coming to LinkedIn, that one would think that text works at times, so video still goes also. Video is usually the best kind of content. The only other thing I'll add is that, like we've mentioned before, it's always good to test and try out things. There are
Mm.
people that are growing without like video content, like people that can use carousels. You can use on LinkedIn, you can just use the text, even Twitter text, and like things can still be going well, even on threads also. Or you can just use images and like probably it's one very witty image that people can like, okay, relate with. Maybe it's a quote or an engaging question. So contents like that will actually like really drive engagement, would actually work best for social media platform. But it's always good to just first think about like videos first, like videos content go well, do well statistically uh across all industry and most major social media platforms. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Next question: how to create consistent content calendar or strategy? how to create content, consistent content calendar or strategy. Right. So for me, I for when I'm creating content, I've broken down my content creation into like three, four major parts. Right. So there's the parts where I ideate my content. Right. So for a week now, like for now, I already have like 1 month's worth of content down, and this is because I did. So what I do is that most times I'm scrolling online or I'm going through my day, an idea pops, right? So and I once the idea pops, maybe I'm just working, I'm checking something, I'm doing something, I'm talking with somebody, an idea pops. Once it pops, I go to my WhatsApp, so like I have a personal chat to myself. I go to my WhatsApp and just type the idea that pops, right? The content idea that pops, and I leave it there, right? And then like maybe it could be next tomorrow, it could be tomorrow, right? I'll just go through like I used to have like times that I'm just it's just my content creation time. So if you want to be serious about content, you need to block out time in your day for content creation. Like you need literally needs to be on your on your calendar that this time from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Is my content time. Like that's the time I used to prepare my content and write my content. So I have that kind of calendar. So maybe come next tomorrow or any other day, I just go to all of those content that I have like that's dropped and I just wrote it down. It could be just one sentence line, right? It could be just one sentence, or it could be a full like rant page, and I just post it there. So I go back to those content that I've ideated, right? And what I do is I flesh them out. So now that's the second step. So I flesh them out. So once I flesh them out, like fleshing them out looks like expanding on the idea or focusing on one thing in that idea. Right. So two ways I do is I expand on the idea. Like for example, if I say the dog is white, right? I can expand on the dog is white. I can say the dog is white with a red with a brown tail and a big head, right? I can expand it. And then another thing that what I can do is that I can narrow it down. Like let's say the dog is white, then I just work on that white. So what is white? White is like I can narrow down just one thing in that particular thing I've ideated. So so from that one idea, I can come up with like another three ideas again. But what I do is that I most times I flesh it out. And when I flesh it out, I just flesh it out as authentic as it comes to my brain, right? I just write like as authentic as it comes to my brain. And once I'm done writing, and now like I can just send it again and then leave it again for till another till maybe the next day when it's my content time again. So once I'm done, I go over what I've fleshed out, remove what needs to be removed, proofread it, take it to AI to work on like the structure, sentence structures and things like that. And once I am done, like my content is ready. So I now begin to okay, do I want to use this as a carousel? Do I want to use that as a video? Then to so the next part, the third part is proofreading, and the next part is actually like designing it. So maybe I want to use it as a carousel or I want to use it as a video. Most times, I always resort to using them as carousels, right? Because once I post the carousel, I can always repurpose to be in a video, right? So that's basically that's how I write my content. So you have to ideate, go through the process of ideating, flesh it out, right? Proofread it, and then um, turn it into like a creative, whether it's a carousel or a video, right? And if you are not at that level where like you can just get content inspiration, there are hooks that are available, like hooks, there are styles that are available. How how practically I used to most times I used to write content or I used to get ideas from my content from other creators. So I go to what other creators are doing, check what they are doing, and steal some ideas from them. I steal some ideas from them. Maybe somebody is talking about authentic creating content that is authentic. That what he said, like maybe creating content that is authentic, I'll just attack it. You don't need to create content that is authentic. I'll just say like I'll just come from another perspective. Basically, it's just coming from another perspective. I see what the creator is saying online. I'll just come from another perspective, right? And because there's no absolute truth, right? And like every advice is relative, right? So you can always, if the only thing that is true is God, right? So most times when go to what people are saying in your industry and just come out from a different perspective that a lot of people are not thinking about, and you have come up with content, right? So that's practically how to come up with your content calendar, and then have that system where you ideate. So it's not immediately I ideate something that I flesh it out. So I'll just let it marinate, right? And come back later and work on it, right? I hope I've answered that question. All right. So what is the difference between organic and paid social media growth? I think this one is very, very straightforward. Organic is something that you do not like, you're practically growing organically. No, yeah, if you post content and people really engage with it, they like it, you've grown organically. But paid ad is you paying money to a platform to help you spread the word. How do you use analytics to improve your social media efforts? Amos, do you want to answer this? Do you want to give an answer to this?
Yes. So how did you use analytics to improve your social media efforts? You now have to start thinking in terms of like, okay, we've mentioned this, but um, you're like, okay, this content you put out, how many, let's use Instagram for example, and let's use videos and carousels and reels. So you put out a reel. What's the impressions you've gotten? What's the reach you've gotten? You put out another reel. Are your impressions improving? Are your reels improving? Is your engagement improving? Then you have to start looking at like, okay, I made this post one time and I got really, really high engagement on this one. What could be the reason? Could it be that okay, this was the time I posted and this time works very well for my audience? Or it could be like something in the exact content that you posted actually really resonated well with your audience. Or it could be the type of content. So maybe you posted like a carousel now and the carousel was going a whole direction talking about something else. Then you're just looking at okay, like what you're doing basically is analytics. You're using data. Instagram will give you all this information. You now have to use this information to make informed decisions, and you make data-driven decisions from all this information. That okay, yes, the reels are going very well. Every time I post on Monday, I get very very good engagement. Every time I post in the mornings, I get very very good engagement. Every time I post carousels, I get good engagement. Or anytime I post quotes, nobody engages with my quotes. Anytime I ask questions, people don't engage. That's how you know, like that's how you use analytics to improve social media efforts. And that way you know the kind of content you start putting out for that particular brand. And then you adapt everything you're doing to just make sure that like, okay, what data is telling you, we are capitalizing on it. So that's just the best way to actually use analytics to improve your social media efforts.
Yes, very, very, very correct. And there's this thing on social media, like I used to get a lot of I don't know, like arguments with most of the people I work with on like best time to post, and then you'll be like, this person said 8 o'clock is the best time to post. This person said 9 o'clock is the best time to post. I'm like, why are you paying attention to another person's data and analytics and not paying attention to your own data and analytics? Because the person that is saying 8 o'clock is the best time to post is because they have viewed their own analytics and came up with that decision based on what they've posted, and then they've seen that okay, it's 8 o'clock that their content gets the most views and engagement, and then you, because they've made that conclusion and they are in a different industry different from yours, and then you just finalize and make up that that's the best time for me also. It's very, very important that as a digital marketer you have to test, right? So when you are finding the best time, like when you are looking for the best time to post or something like that, post for a particular time consistently for a while. Then maybe next week change the time you post and see what is the difference. Okay, I posted this week this way and I posted this week this way. Which what post actually did well, and like is there a difference in like the time I post and are people engaging? because all of these things have to change, and they need to inform your business like regularly. And then back to the content type also. You can post carousels, a carousel today, and it performs well. And then you post another carousel and does not perform well. Then you need to ask yourself a question: what made this carousel perform well and this carousel not perform well? Or what made this reel perform well and this reel not perform well? And then once you are able to like look at, maybe it's the copy, maybe it's the headline, and then you can like work on that and make your content perform well, or make whatever you're doing perform well. So yeah, very important. We'll be going on a break now. This 7:58. If you have questions, please drop them. When we come back, we'll continue with the questions. Let me see if there's any content here. Any question here?
Okay, how do you document and refer to your insights? Do you write them down physically or type? Which is best? Um, there are different ways you can do it. Some people don't even take it out of Instagram or the tool. One thing that I'm fond of doing is using a Google Sheets. So you can use a Google Sheets, you can use a Google Doc to do it. You can actually write it down when you're just starting, but I mean, eventually you're going to realize that like writing it down with pen and paper is not going to be sustainable for you. But if you want to try it out for starting out, you can. So just making sure that you have the main idea is just to have this data somewhere that you can actually look at a glance and see what's working or not. So you can be updating it wherever you put it every week. Let's say you're using a Google Sheet. Every week you're coming and like a new column, you're putting the new data on it, or if it's daily or monthly that you want to be doing it, you can do it. So whichever way will work best for you. Advisable to use a doc like Google Docs or Google Sheets or any of the other project management tools that you might come across if in case you come across any. Or you can even use the tools themselves. Instagram will show you its analytics dashboard, which will show you top performing content and everything. Um, the all the ads platforms and social media platforms will also show you these things at a glance also. So that's to your question, other Dr. Stephen. So I think well, it's eight already, so you can go on your break.
Okay. All right. Okay. Back. So let's go into other questions and see if we can answer some other questions in the comment section. So this question says, how do I find the right keywords for website or blog? I think um I think this question has been answered. Or you want to say anything about this? Someone is asking, how many posts do you create daily? I only post once daily. I think the LD option is to post one daily, once daily. If you are creating content, like if you are really creating content, but if you have a team, you can do more. So social media platforms don't penalize you for. I don't think any social media platform will penalize you for posting 100 times in a day. So yeah, Amos, are you here?
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah.
Okay. So this question looks like you have answered it. So
Yeah, yeah. How do you find the right keywords for your website or blog? Um,
yeah.
yeah, we've spoken about it. So just like, okay, what are the kind of things that your audience will be searching for? What? So we spoke about hairstylist, and like in terms of like, okay, they will probably be searching for where can I get very good hairs in Lagos. Then you do your research on like, okay, what's the volume search for those keywords, and you start putting those keywords on your platform. Also for the attendance, since there's an issue with the attendance, so the link would be sorted before the end of the class. So you can all calm down on the attendance. Um, yeah. All right. So I wanted to talk about something. So should I go ahead and talk about the
So
rules?
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. Um. So like I mean, before I even talk about it myself, from I like those in the comment section, like just tell me like, okay, what are the roles or what are the job opportunities that I feel like digital marketing has? I mean, all these things that we are taking. What job opportunities do you think are out there? And yeah, so I would like to see some comments. So I mean, yeah, do you know this digital marketing class? Okay, digital marketing itself is a job. Yes, thank you very much. Derek. Chike says social media manager. Um, okay, so social email marketer. Yes, email marketing. Yes, SEO specialist. Yes, is also there. Um, sorry, I'm having issues. I'm trying to share my screen to just show us like what I have. Someone said ghostwriter. Okay. Yes, copywriter. So there. Yeah, social media manager, content creator. Okay, so which one of them do you find the most interesting? Which one of them do you find the most interesting? Copywriting. So give me a second. So I want to quickly just refresh. I'm trying to like share my slides now. Okay, let me just refresh the.
All right. Okay, so while you must try to sort out some things, let me look at the comment section. I haven't still found my field in digital marketing, and I'm still confused on the one to do. Is it normal or is just me? Precious, it's very, very normal. Like right now, you don't even need to choose a field. Digital marketing itself is a field. Like so, just concentrate on learning about all of these things. The field can come later, right? As a starter, without much capital, can I build my website myself? How do I handle this aspect to save cost? Definitely, you can build your website yourself, right? So you can use WordPress. There are other free sites also to able to build your WordPress, like Wix, like Card. You can use those things. You see, if I link if I if I link my If I link my Facebook and Instagram accounts together and run ads in Facebook, will the ads work for Instagram as well? So if you have watched, I believe that if you have watched Amos class on ads, we have explained that side to you. So there's something like placement in Facebook Ads Manager. All right, so there's something like placement in Ads Manager where you can select where you want your ads to be shown. Right, so if you have selected Facebook there, yes, definitely your ad to show on Facebook. And you can also deselect Facebook and just tell Meta that you want your ad to show only on Instagram or you want your ad to show only on Facebook. Right? So you can decide where your ads are being placed. So maybe I advise you to go and watch. Um, I advise you to go and watch the 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 class on arts. Right. Okay. Janet, I can't see your. I don't know if I've attended to your question. Can you send it again, Janet? Can you send your question again? So for the landing page side, maybe during one of my sessions, I will just quickly review it again, and take you through how to build landing page, maybe on Card or with WordPress, right? But most of these informations they are online, right? So, for example, how to build a Wix WordPress. If you go online on YouTube, you see a full tutorial on somebody building a Wix this thing from scratch, and yes, basically. So Gladys, this is what I'm saying. I already went over it I already went over it in our class when we were talking about landing page. Because this is not a class. This is a digital marketing class. This is not a web. This is not a class to teach you website designing. Right. So we've gone over the basics. You can go on YouTube, practically go on YouTube right now and search how to build a website or how to build a landing page with Wix. So I've given you the tools. There's Wix. There's Card. Right. So those two things you can use. You can also use WordPress. Right? You can use WordPress to do that. Right? Is it compulsory to post daily? It's not compulsory to post daily. What determines what you post daily is your content strategy. We also covered this. So your content strategy is everything, is all the activities involved in taking you from point A to point B. So when you're defining your content strategy, ask yourself where am I in right now, and where do I want to be in certain number of months. Let's say you're creating a 3 months content strategy. So where am I right now in terms of content, and where do I want to be in 3 months time in terms of content? So if you say I want to be at like, because the most popular metrics for people when you want to grow social media is followers. So let's say you're on Instagram and you say, okay, you want to go 20,000, you want to grow 20,000 followers in under you want to grow 20,000 followers in under 3 months. All right. So if you want to go 20,000 followers in under 3 months, what are your strategies to help you to get to 20,000 followers in 3 months? So definitely, if you want to go to 20,000 followers in 3 months, ads will have to be involved. If you don't want to run ads, then you have to post a shit ton of content. Like you have to post like a lot of content. So that will determine how many content. So you cannot say, okay, to get to these 20,000 followers in 3 months, I have to post 5 contents daily at least so that I can find one that goes viral or something that goes viral, something like that. So that determines which kind of content that you want to post, right? Janet, I hope that's understood. All right, then. All right. Amos, you can go ahead now. Amos is not here. So I'm going to keep answering questions. So somebody said that, please, I'm into printing banners, jotters, and everywhere. Please, who are my customers and how can I get them, sir? I don't know where to find them. Okay. So so your so so Precious, who is into printing, you are you have you come to meet you for printing banners before? So if people have come to meet you to ask for help in printing banners, those are the type of audience. This thing has to do with customer research. Like you are the best person in the best position to know who your customer is. Anybody that wants to print, that is looking to print banners, is looking to print jotters, they are your target audience. Off off the top of my head, any church is your ideal audience. Like church people, pastors who want to print flyers for their church programs, their ideal audience. People who are doing wedding ceremonies, they're doing naming ceremonies, they want to print banners, they want to people who are celebrating somebody, they are your ideal audience, right? Basically. And yeah, Amos, you can go ahead.
Okay, all right. So I've actually said a lot of things that you guys didn't hear, but let me start again. So we're talking about the roles in digital marketing, and I remember like before I left the first time, a lot of us already mentioned different roles like content marketing, social media, and SEO. And I just want to add like, okay, first of all, when we talk about digital marketing is very very broad, and there are a lot of different specializations. However, the first and foremost role, like someone mentioned, you can still be a digital marketer and try to like okay incorporate a lot of these things that we've spoken about. It might not be all, but like major of these things. So you have roles that incorporate okay digital marketing, that incorporate in terms of like okay maybe you're a digital marketing manager, you're a digital marketer, or you're a digital marketing associate, a digital marketing executive. Now, this part I'm talking about, I mean, we all have different paths that we're probably going to take, and it would be nice to know our options. I mean, some of us want to probably use this thing for our own businesses, and that's pretty much fine. You don't need to be like, okay, say you want to specialize again because you probably be doing a lot of these things for your businesses. Some of you want to go into like contracts roles. Knowing some of these specialized roles would probably be very good for you because what it means is like okay, be able to double down and give more value when people ask for these special roles. Then even companies they're working for, they don't need just one person because all things I was talking about. If you're working for a big company or major tech companies around this, they don't need one person to handle everything. So they always try to look for like different roles that they need and hire people for these specialties. So after the digital marketing manager, you have the content marketer, and that falls into what we've spoken about in terms of like the blogs and the social media content that you're trying to put out. So you're like focusing on content you're putting out in terms of videos, in terms of blogs, and in terms of social media content. Someone said, can't I do all? You can do all. So the thing is, you can do all, and yes, you can be very, very broad in terms of like doing everything, depending on the company you're working for. However, sometimes some companies might want some people that are specialized. So companies have so either path you choose, there's a route for you. There's like a way for you. I would say there's money for you. There are some companies that look for people that can do all these things and they are not really specialized in any of them. While there's some companies that look for people or some contractors that look for people that this is their specialty and this is what they know how to do, even if they can't do the other aspect of digital marketing. The fact that they can do this thing really, 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 really well, they're actually going to employ you for that. So after content marketing, you have SEO specialist. SEO specialist is what we've spoken about, the whole SEO thing, in terms of like okay, search engine, the ranking, how to even so when you're an SEO specialist, you now probably want to get more technical. Remember, I mentioned that a lot of the things that we spoke about in the technical SEO, you may not really need to like do them yourselves. But if you become like if SEO is your game, then yes, you have to actually start to learn like how to do a lot of those things. Then PPC specialist, it's a very old term, but it's here for the sake of this class. So it's a paid per click specialist, and you manage paid adverts. So what this is probably called like a paid ad specialist or an ad specialist. Um, you also have email marketing specialist, and that's what you're crafting and you're sending emails and you're trying to like nurture leads, everything that we've spoken about. You're testing subject lines, you're getting people from like awareness, consideration through emails to conversion. So that's your goal. Then social media manager, you plan, you manage social media content and engagement. And there are a lot of other roles, and I'm even going to go to the next slide and talk about like some other roles. But even before I go into the next one, all these roles are like very very vast. There's still a lot more like this that from digital marketing can actually feed into things that you want to do. So before I continue, which of these ones like interest you the most of all I've spoken about so far? And if there's one that I've not spoken about that you probably heard about or you probably think there should be, and it's very very interesting for you, just in the put them down in the comment section. Yeah, I like to see. Today it's good for you to focus on the niche. It's also good for you to have an idea of everything. Yeah, so have an idea of everything, but like niche down, double down. Derek, digital marketing manager. I think you mentioned digital marketing manager before. But that's good. Someone said content marketing. Content marketing catches her fancy. That's nice. Yes, but about the affiliate marketing. Yes, that's also another. I think I actually explained that once. Yes, PPC specialist. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to talk about like the next one. Okay. I have to do this. So now I mean, today the world is changing, and like we are talking about like things that in the tech scenes, especially want to work in tech firms or startups. There are also a lot of roles that they actually employ for nowadays that are not like in terms of like the traditional digital marketing roles. And you get to hear a lot of interesting names. In fact, I've not even said a lot of names that roles that we've actually done or held in the past. Um in the last slide. But for like today's tech in tech world now, one thing that you I don't know if you've heard about some of these words on my screen, but you've probably heard about a growth marketer. Or so a growth marketer, what does a growth marketer do? So a growth marketer, I mentioned experimentation a lot, and a growth marketer focuses on experimentation. So all those times when we say that I said that we should be testing, there's sometimes that they'll just bring you in and your job is mostly testing. I mean, among other things, for testing different channels, focusing on like the analytics parts and tracking and knowing what works. You have a product marketing manager. Currently, I'm holding a role as product marketing manager. And what you are doing as product marketing manager is you bridge the gap between product development and users. So you help users in simple English, you help users understand what you are selling so that they are not coming to hear buzzwords. You help users to understand what you're selling. You help users to actually adopt the product, not just like hear about the product and not use it or not use it. You also focus on like the product adoption. That okay, what the company builds, you are coming to like let users know how to use it and enabling them to actually use that product. Then you have your marketing automation specialist also. You set up email sequences, your lead scoring, automated journeys. So this is similar to your email marketing manager specialist role. I think the only it's just a fancy term actually, but the major difference would probably be in terms of like they are now like setting up automations. And so if someone joins your platform now, you have 10 emails that is going to the person. Then if someone maybe buys from you, then the person switches from that automation of 10 emails that you're probably sending to another like list of automation that okay, someone has bought from you. This is the next automation the person should go to. Then performance marketing specialist. So this is performance. It's spoken about paid ads. So when you talk about performance marketing, you're talking about paid campaigns, all form of paid ads that could actually be. Then you have your digital marketing analyst, which is someone that's just helping you to like just work in create and bring out the data, create the dashboards, helping to collect the data and interpret the data. Then conversion rate optimization specialist. So this is your CRO specialist. So this person is focused on conversions. Like, okay, how can you improve conversions? So on your website, you're like looking at okay, what are the users doing? What are the paths that they take, and how can you improve conversions? Then you have your influencer marketing manager. I think some of us started talking about influencer marketing manager already. Like maybe that was interesting to us. But yes, you're managing influencer relationships. It's not. I mean, so I think some of us think it's very very flashy because like it's easy and everything. But I mean, imagine if you tell your company to pay money to this influencer, and this influencer does a campaign, and you do not get any results from the campaign. Just post one video and that is all. I mean, they're going to come for you. So it's not also as easy as it seems, but everything is easy if you open your mind. I just want to let you know that it's not just about like managing the influencer, it's all about making sure that the influencer that you're doing, influencers you're working with, or the influencers you're recruiting, um, deliver results. Sometimes the problem is you have to hold the influencers, give them the content that they will do, and make sure they deliver results for your company. Then you have your community manager. So this is when you have close communities mostly that you find community managers in, but even open communities. So if there's a community group chat on WhatsApp, on Telegram, on Slack, on Instagram,
more often than not, they call on a community manager to manage these communities and keep the people engaged. Yes. So that's just a rundown. So from these new rules that I have actually mentioned, I hope we're all following. If you're following, just type following. Which one of them again now tickles your fancy from these new ones that I've mentioned? So how does a digital marketing analyst perform his role? Yes, so now if you are in a team whereby there's a digital marketing analyst, so what you'll probably be in charge of mostly is all the data that we've spoken about. You're bringing them out from like Instagram, you're bringing them out from the ads, you're telling them like, okay, this is the results the ad is performing, presenting to you, this is what the ads is getting to you. Sometimes you might just have a data analyst in the team. You rarely see people companies that employ for just a digital marketing analyst. They might employ for a data analyst, and you have to be working with data analysts. But if there's a data analyst, you would be you'll be able to see yes. So someone said product marketing manager interests me. That's good. Someone said growth hacker. I like that. Toby, I don't know. Are there any roles that I've not added that we probably want to add? And then yeah, first roles that is not added, and I think I would want us to actually talk about roles that we've probably held, probably full time or contract roles also.
Okay. So I think yeah, a lot of these roles, like more roles will still come up
Yes.
as this, because a lot of when I there's a role I got, digital marketing specialist. I was asking myself, why did they have to put a specialist like there? Like, what is this? I'm a digital marketer, I'm a digital specialist there. So, but I would say that somebody was asking, can't I do all? I have an opinion about like roles as a digital marketer. That's if you want to like serve, if you want to serve like clients now. That's what I'm saying. But if you have a business, most of these roles, if you are on a lean budget, you have to like be the one actually handling them, right? But it's good to specialize on one. I personally believe that specialists get paid than generalists, because if you check all these big companies, you will not really see a generalist. Like you will not see one digital marketer that like, because what people that don't have money do, like they are looking for people that will do the full stack digital marketing, whereas it does not, that's not possible. Like cannot focus on different areas. Only social media marketing alone is exhaustive. Like you can stay on just social media marketing for years, right? So it's better to actually pick one that you can be a specialist in. And the beautiful thing about being a specialist is that once you're a specialist in one thing, people will naturally think that you're good in other things. Like for example, if you're a specialist in social media manager, like you are a pro in that, people will naturally think that okay, if you can do social media marketing so well, you should be able to do email marketing too, because like you are brilliant in this social media thing. So email marketing should be something that you should be good at. And again, if you're a specialist in one thing, it's easier for you to learn other things. So how you can go about it is actually start with one. Like now you're learning everything, and this is just to open your mind to like different areas that you can choose from. And from all of this, you'll be able to figure out okay, which one am I most interested in, right? And pro tip, go to the one that has more money, and like actually just go, everything has money, sha, but basically pick a niche, look for a niche, right? But that has to be a journey. For me, I started as a copywriter. That was my role as a copywriter. And then from being a copywriter, I became an email copywriter. So I joined a company as a copywriter, and then I was writing copies for everything, ads. I was writing copy for ads. I was writing copy for landing pages. I was writing copy for everything. And then, but at some point, because they saw that okay, I was really good at emails. Like I was really good at writing emails. At some point, where I was writing emails that were generating 7 figures. So they're like, okay, just specialize. You just handle the emails. Ensure that you're managing the emails, right? So I became like an email specialist, email copywriter. But also I also became like the marketing lead. I was managing the whole marketing operation at some point, and I've been I've been ad specialist before. I don't know why people like adding specialists. Like, but I've been a digital marketing specialist also. So those are the roles I've held.
Alright, thank you very much, Toby. I think for me, let me just give my own. I started as a growth marketer. Chris. Someone said, "What's the role of a growth marketer?" I'll come back to that question. So, I started as a growth marketer. Then I moved on to digital lead. I mean, that is digital lead. It's not even in the options we mentioned. Digital lead. Then I've also had performance marketing specialist also, and I'm now currently a product marketing manager. As a digital lead, what I was handling was anything digital. So anytime emails, anytime we're working with tools, I think you mentioned, I think you hear Toby say like I work with tools. Like anytime I was working with any tool, I was the one. Others were just to do their job, and I was just like take them, use these tools, and do like the next job there. So that's what I was doing as digital lead, and I was still handling a lot of performance marketing there as that. So what's the role of a growth marketer? This is answering Flourishing's question. The role of a growth marketer now, the way I like to define it personally is you have one goal or probably three, and like that is your focus. So everything else is not your focus. These three things are your focus, and you have to do anything you can to just achieve this goal. So let's say your goal is to increase the amount of sign-ups for this company now. You are going to start experimenting. So to achieve this goal, you're going to experiment. So you're going to today you're trying ads on Google. If it's not bringing you results, you're moving on to the next thing. If it's bringing you results, you're like, okay, this one is working for us. How well can we optimize it and improve it? And that's just what you're doing. So you're experimenting. You're trying different channels, different mediums, different ways, not just ads. Sometimes a lot of even organic movements is even attached here to just try and actually grow that product or grow your metric, whatever metric you are giving. So I think that covers it for like the old marketing roles. Um, there was a question that okay, someone asked the other time. So, Olola, please, there are certain products that can't really be boosted through Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram, except LinkedIn. So, what other platforms do you recommend for petroleum products? So, you can use. So, when you say it can't really be, are you saying that because of regulations or because you feel like your target audience is not there? Because I mean, if your target audience are there, you can actually still target people. You just have to like know the targeting that you're going to do. Even if you're selling petroleum products, I think one mistake people make is that you're selling petroleum products to companies. We forget that there are people behind those companies. So you think now, if you're who are selling petroleum products, so maybe CEO of a bank or something, or MD of a bank or something like that, they probably use some of these social media platforms too. How can you actually target them? That's what you have to think in terms of. Then, if you can't like okay reach these platforms, let's say because of regulation issues, you can't actually target them. There are a lot of other platforms because I know for betting and for a couple of other maybe politics or campaigns, you can't use social media platforms for it. You have regulations against it. There are things we call programmatic ads, and yeah, running ads through other partners, and that's like a whole advanced ads class. So um, you can do your research on programmatic ads and just look at programmatic companies and partners I can work with. That would actually help your ruler. It's a whole different ball game from what we've been speaking about. We're talking about like the foundations here, yeah, and and it's usually for companies that have like high money to spend. So if you're saying you want to use those platforms now, you have to like go with nothing less than $1,000, and that's even at least best to actually run ads on some of those platforms. And since it says it's petroleum products, they should actually have the money, so that's fine. Someone said it's lead generation specialist 18. Yes, lead generation specialist 18. I think one of the things that I would even say Toby is very good at is lead generation. So though Joe is he has other specialists, but I know that he's very good at lead generation.
Yeah, it's 18, and also like funnel specialist. So a lead generation specialist will be like a funnel specialist. So because
Yes.
when we are talking about lead generation, we are talking about building funnels.
Yes, yes. Are there any questions that we've missed? think we're coming to the end. Which one is so CPA marketing is another is more of, I would say I've been seeing it a lot of times and I would say it's similar to affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
It's yes, it's just a type of affiliate marketing. Yeah. So it's a cost per action marketing, and just like the way affiliate marketing works, they pay when like a cost when a specific action has actually been completed. So the only difference is like in terms of affiliate marketing, you know for affiliate marketing, the main goal is sale. The main goal is like okay, you must make a sale before you get paid and you get your commission. But for CPA marketing, at times the actions may vary. By the end of the day, when you actually get into it, the major action that they are still asking for is sales. So, yeah, that's just it about that. Then I'm currently working with a new hotel as a social media manager, and I want to run an ad. How do I go about it, and how can I create a persona since it's a new hotel? So, kids, just look at hotels around you. What, first of all, when you are starting out, you are making assumptions. You are doing your research and making assumptions. So you do your research first, you make assumptions, and you create your persona. Who do you think will be, who are people that normally use hotels? Who do you think will want to come and use your own hotel? Then you start running your ads from there. There's a video on how to go about start running your ads. So you run your ads, you create, and then if probably the persona is not working. Another thing is that you said the hotel is just starting. Once people start coming to the hotel, you start asking them questions. Like, okay, what kind of person are you? Why are you even at this hotel in the first place? Do you travel a lot? Do you actually come to do you actually are you actually in need of hotels a lot? Then from there you start knowing more about your target audience. But the first thing you can do is make assumptions, then start to validate your assumptions as you go. Toby, do you want to answer this question? Is tofu, bofu, and mofu same as hot, warm, and cold audience?
It's not the same now. Those are like those are different stages of your funnel, right? But like for example now, for your top of the funnel, mostly you'll be reaching out to cold audience. Like so when you're running ads, you're running engagement ads, you're running awareness ads, you're posting content. Basically, it's cold traffic that are being drawn to the top of your funnel. And then once they now know you, right, and they are engaging with their content, now they are warm leads, right? So they've gone to the middle of the funnel. Then before they actually now they are considering buying from you, and then when they buy from you, now they are the hot audience. That means they purchase something from you. Now they are at the bottom of your funnel, right? So this now you are giving them incentive to actually buy from you. So for different categories of the funnel, those audience type applies, but they are not the same thing. You just need to understand the difference, right? So a cold audience is someone who does not know anything about us. So everybody that does not know anything about you in this world now is your cold audience. And when they get to know you and they get to have an interaction with you and they become warm, right? And you must also know that a warm audience can become cold back if you don't have a nurturing system. There are some brands that I've encountered maybe 2 years ago, but I've forgotten about them because there was no nurturing system. There was no maybe like I've just forgotten about them. So now I'm cold back to them. So you must understand those things, what those things means. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Toby. So, that's the end. Thank you very much. Steven, your question is more and I had question. Your question, there's like a double authenticator. You have access to your ads manager. You're the one that created your account. Know your password. Have your authenticator code on your phone. I know you've asked this question before, and it's that's just it. Yeah. Just know your password. Know your password. There's no what's there's no big deal about that. For coding matters, do I have to create blog posts consistently for my website? You have to create blog posts consistently. You have to just create blog posts consistently. You can't say that because on social media, it's not like you create one video and hope that like your page is going to go very well. After collection of leads on the opt-in page, how do you save this data? You can save this data in any form you want to save this data. You can save it in a Google Sheet, you can save it in a document, you can save it in a spreadsheet or Excel. You can save data however you want to save it. And that's a wrap for tonight. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. I think we actually engaged better today. Um, to, Toby, do you have anything else you want to add or say before we call it a night?
Oh, not at all. Thank you everyone for joining today.
All right, thank you very much. So I'm going to see you on Thursday. So just come prepared Thursday. I'm speaking about something very interesting. I'm talking about AI in marketing. So see you all Thursday. You guys should go and have a great night's rest. And please watch all the videos that we've spoken about before.
All right, bye everyone.